a wedding about a dozen years ago, and I think it's a marvelous story. It's got everything that a really good story needs. It's got larger-than-life characters and a very crucial make-or-break moment where the stakes are so high you can't believe them, and a decision has to be made after which life is never the same again. Can't get better than that. But it has a flaw. There is, about a third of the way through the story, a chunk missing. Something's missing. We all know the basic outline of the story. A wedding, they run out of wine. Jesus' mother tells him there's no wine. He says, not my problem. Then he changes the water into wine, and the rest is history. But there is a gap where Jesus decides, yes, he's going to stand and deliver. So it's always been a kind of a sticking point with me. And when I heard about this, I thought, oh, finally, I might get a chance to fill that gap. You'll see. You'll see. Another thing that I learned in working with the story is that the mother of Jesus, and she's called the mother of Jesus, she's never identified by name in this story, figures strongly. We get to see a little glimpse of how Jesus interacted with his family, which is, I think, wonderfully personal and wonderfully human. It's not the detached Jesus that we normally think of. This is this mother speaking. And when the mother of Jesus says the last thing that she has to say, which is, by the way, the best exit line, I think, in all of the Gospels. If you wadded up all of the epistles and boiled them down to one little sentence, you couldn't do better than what the mother of Jesus has to say. Now, every story except for Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, has some story that comes before it. It has a backstory. So we need to set this one up just a little bit. At the beginning of John, we have microphone problems. We have Jesus, and we have him being shouted out, not once, but twice, by two members of his family. John on the river back, who is his cousin, who remember the Magnificat, John in his mother's belly jumping. John's back, and he's at it again. And then Jesus gets a second shout out from his other parent in the form of that dove. These happen on days 1 and days 2 of the story. And on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee. And the mother of Jesus was there. And Jesus and the apostles had also been invited to the wedding. And when the wine played out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? It is not yet my hour." And the mother of Jesus said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now, there were 6 stone water jars. for the Jewish rite of purification, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. And Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the chief steward." And so they took it. And when the steward tasted the water, which had become wine, and didn't know where it had come from, when the servants who poured the water did know, he calls to the bridegroom and said, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then waits for the guests to get drunk, and then serves the inferior wine. But you save the good wine until last." Jesus did this, the first of his signs, in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory. And the disciples believed in him.